Hello, once again, this is Antonio, and I'm coming at you with another exciting video. Okay, so on yesterday, I did a video about Miss Hannah Payne, the young lady who's deemed the female George Zimmerman. She was told repeatedly to go back to her vehicle after she followed a man who allegedly left a hit and run accident. And she was told repeatedly to go back to her vehicle. But because Miss Hannah was armed, she went down and chased down the gentleman. And in doing so, she ended up deleting the man on the spot. So, what we want to do in this video is we want to first talk about the sponsor of the video, and then we're going to talk about, we're going to go ahead and get involved and show the interrogation all together. So, you clearly can see what took place and what not to do when you are told to go back to your vehicle. Now, in Florida, every state has their own laws, right? So in Florida, because Florida has its own laws and to stand your ground, George Zimmerman was able to use that. But Miss Hannah Payne, you're going to see it did not work the same way for her. So the sponsor of this video is Surfshock, a comprehensive review of the VPN service. In today's digital age, privacy and security are of utmost importance. With cyber criminals becoming more sophisticated and governments monitoring online activity, it's essential to take measures to protect your online identity. One way to do so is by using a virtual private network or a VPN service. Among the many VPNs available in the market, Surfshock is one that has been gaining popularity. So if you click on that link, once you go to the website and you click on that link there, you would clearly see that they're running a promotion. All right. Is it going to manifest itself? All right. So the promotion is here, an award winning VPN deal that screams Christmas, 82% off and up to 4 months free once you click that link. So let's get into the interrogation itself. This is from Law and Crime Network. So let's go ahead and play this.
Hey, what's your name? What is it? Hannah. Hannah? The best one.
Attention retirees, if you're willing to be at your computer from 9 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. on most weekdays, I can show you.
As you can see, the first thing detectives does is that they will possibly put you in a room so you can start thinking over your actions. They start letting you think things over, and before they come in and they start double teaming you with questions and accusations.
Detective Hayward, for the record, the minutes that we've just watched, were you able to observe the defendant removing her own fingernails and putting fake fingernails and putting them in her pocket?
Correct.
And does she continue to do that until they're all gone?
Correct.
Judge, at this time we're going to move forward until 8:40, 8:30. The defendant is alone in the room until that time.
Okay.
Closest I got it was 8:48, 16.
Okay.
And okay. I'm sure you're not. More. This is Detective Hayward. You met him, have you met him yet? Have you ever watched like on TV or anything like that? So you know before we talk to you, we're gonna read just a second, okay? So if you understand what I say, I just want you to initial the fact when I read you, okay? How old are you, man?
All right, so now let's get ready for the double team. They're about to try to double team her to make her triple her own words.
Anything you say can will be used against you in court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have them present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before questioning if you wish. You can decide at any time to exercise these rights and not answer any questions or make any statement. Read the next line for me, please. And if you understand what we just talked about up here, what you just read, sign right there, and then the date and time. It is 5/7/19. It is 8:47. Before we get into anything, I just want to ask some background. I know they probably already have your information, but I don't. I'm just now feeding you for something. What's your name, ma'am?
Hannah, H-A-N-N-A-H. Payne, P-A-Y-N-E.
Where are you okay?
It's a management company called Triship, T-R-I-S-H-I-P, partner. LLC.
Okay. So you're not working today? Okay. How long was what hours walking you on that?
I had gotten off of work, I was going home, and I was coming down Clark Howell, turning left onto Fourth Parkway. There was a semi that was in the lane to the right of me, and he was a little bit further in the intersection than I was. The light was green for us. And out of nowhere, this guy came down through the intersection, and luckily I stopped barely in time, but he ran into the semi.
Then y'all were on Clark Howell, and you're trying to come out on the Fourth Parkway. And
He came straight through.
so we got to take like from 85 in Riverdale or from Riverdale?
From 85 in
Okay, I got you. Okay, go ahead.
And so after I realized what had happened, I was able to go around him, and I pulled up on the sidewalk, and I parked. So I called the police. I got out, and I walked over to see if everyone was okay. I was talking to the truck driver and another witness who was also a police officer who saw everything happen. And the guy who was driving the truck ended up getting out and was just kind of like looking around like, well, what happened? And he said, someone hit me. And we're like, no, you just ran the red light. And he was kind of stumbling and walking out in the middle of traffic. And after about 20 minutes had gone by, I went back across the street. And
Right now, you'll save big on a website with HostGator, so you can get online for less and share your true passion.
I was calling my parents because I kind of had a realization of this was a second chance at life that I felt I was scared. So I called my parents and I told them what happened. And while I was standing over there, is when I called back, realized it had been over 20 minutes. And I told the dispatch that he was sitting in his truck and he was revving the engine. And it looked like he was going to pull away, and at that time he did. He took off.
Okay.
So I got in my Jeep and I followed him, and I told the dispatch that I was following him, and she told me that she didn't advise it. And I told her that I'm just getting his tag number. I got the tag number by the time we got to the end of, right when I got to Riverdale Road. And we came around that curve, and I had an opportunity to get in front of him.
Okay.
I got in front of him, and I stopped in front of him. I got out and I was on the phone with him. I told him, I was like, you need to stop, you need to pull over. And he's like, who are you and who are you? And I'm like, I'm no one, but I'm on the phone with the police. And that's when I was like right there for him. He's like, yeah, well, who are you? Who are you? I got something for you. I'm like, okay. I said, I'm just telling you, you need to stop. And you need to pull over. And that's when I had this my phone in my hand, and I told him, I was like, you need to stop. And I'm right there by his door at this point. He reaches out and kind of like hit my phone out and grabbed my wrist.
Okay.
When he grabbed my wrist, we kind of started going back and forth, fighting. And that's when he punched the gas and he ran into my tire. And he's telling me the whole time, you know, oh, well, I don't know who you are, blah, blah, blah. And he was leaning back, when he pulled me, I got something for you, reaching. And I don't know if he's reaching, I wasn't watching him, I was trying to pull away from him. And I had gotten him off of me, but he had my shirt, and that's when he ripped my shirt. He was pulling it. I have it underneath.
Okay, all right.
Because I mean, it's all over this.
Okay. I just want to see that, and I don't want to have somebody do that. Yes.
He's pulling at it, and that's when I told him, after he's reaching, I told him, I said, I have a gun, I said, and I will shoot you. And that's when I reached for it. And because I hadn't reached for it and I touched for it the entire time, I reached for it, I pulled it out. And that's when he pulled, when I pulled away from him is when, because my shirt ripped. It's not that he let go. I had it out at that point. He was still coming at me, still yelling at me, I got something for you, you know, you're going to shoot me, then shoot me, do it. And he went forward on the door, and I pushed it forward with my knee, went back forward, pushed it forward, thinking he was trying to get out. And I told him,
did the door open at all, or did it not open?
He was pushing at it. Like, he reached down, he went like this.
Okay.
So, from the angle that I was at, I honestly, I don't know.
I guess she skipped about the whole part when the 911 dispatcher told her, return back to your vehicle. So even if all of those circumstances she describing did happen, she was told repeatedly, actually 4 times, to return back to her vehicle, which she did not. She pursued the gentleman.
I don't know if it opened or not, but I could hear him grabbing his door handle. I could hear it, like just pulling at it. And so that's when I pushed the door forward and he grabbed my hand and we were going back and forth. I didn't have my hand on the trigger, but we were going back and forth and he was holding it and he was twisting it, and then that's when I actually got my grip on it. And he was turning it and it got faced almost all the way around when I pulled it back, and he lunged again, like with one hand on me, and he lunged and he swung and he grabbed, like right here on the back of my shirt. And when he grabbed is when I don't know. I don't remember telling myself to pull the trigger. It just.
So did you have your finger on the trigger?
Yeah.
So when you're holding the gun,
Yeah,
you
so I had it,
is inside the trigger part.
how it's like this, I had it like, originally I was holding it like this.
Okay.
I didn't have it inside, and he's reaching and turning and twisting, and as he's turning it, he's, pulling, and we're going back and forth. So of course, I bought it for protection.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I have any intentions on ever trying to use it, but I was trying to get prepared for whatever I need to be prepared for, thinking I'd be able to pull away and then just go, get away from him, and that's not how it happened.
Okay.
So when he was pulling at me, and that's when my finger, I put it on the trigger, and he's pulling and pulling, and
Before this day, have you ever seen that man before in your life that you know of? I know it's probably hard for me to talk about, but we just have to slow it down a lot. You told us what happened, but I don't know, it's thing by thing by thing. So you pull around and you stop in front of him, and what happens is he stops behind you.
Yeah.
How far between cars would you say? Like close, like far, like?
Maybe almost the length of this table.
Okay. And then what happens then?
Then that's when I was on the phone with dispatcher, and he was asking me, he's like, who are you, and I told him.
So you're out of the car at this time?
Yeah, I had walked around and told him, you need to stop.
Okay, so
You need to pull over.
which side of the car were you on?
I was on his driver's side, and I was at the back of my car.
So y'all on the right side of the road. I'm just trying to, because I know that intersection lot, so it's like when you come around and you get on 285. So before the ramp.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so you're right in front of him.
That's kind of a crosswalk
Mhm,
area.
gotcha.
You're right there.
Okay,
And he was right here, and I had come around, and I was right here.
okay,
And when I stopped, I got out and I walked around,
okay,
telling dispatch, I'm on the phone, I was on the phone with her, and I told her, I said, I'm here, I said, and he stopped. And that's when I told him, you need to stop,
okay.
And he's just like, who are you? I said, I'm no one, but I'm on the phone with dispatch. I'm on the phone with the police, you need to stop. You just caused that accident. And he's like, yeah, okay, I got something for you, and that's when he pulled forward.
So he, at this time, it was just words being exchanged. There was no contact at all yet.
Right.
Okay.
And
So he pulled forward how? Like his car went how far forward?
all the way forward to my Jeep.
So it struck your Jeep?
It did, yeah,
Okay.
it did.
You said it struck the wheel. It struck the wheel, or that wheel on the back, like
No, the wheel on the side of the Jeep.
the actual.
The actual
Okay.
side,
I got you.
And that's when I was telling him, I'm like, you need to stop. And that's when he was reaching.
Okay.
He hit my hand. I don't know if he did it intentionally trying to throw my phone.
So you're standing. So
Showing up on the first page of Google might not be the best for everyone.
these are two cars, this is the car, and he's inside the car here. You're standing right at his passenger.
Right here, so this is where my car was, right
So
here.
you're like an angle in front of him. Okay. So you're angled in, and he's here. Yeah. Okay. So you're standing right.
Where the volume went,
Are we gonna need some assistance from 19?
Try it again. I don't know what it just went suddenly silent.
I believe they had the transcripts yesterday. And I think for some reason they come back and just they could use that, but then they take it.
I called for some assistance.
Yes, okay. So you're standing right here. I came around, I was standing right here,
Okay.
and that's when he went forward and he hit it, and I told him, whoa, I said, because you need to stop. I'm like, the police are right here. I said, you just need to stop. You know, okay, I got something for you, and I'm telling him, and of course I'm telling him, you know, from a distance, but I'm telling him, just stop, just stop.
So at this point, you're saying stop. No gun in hand, no nothing.
No, nothing, yeah.
Stop. Okay.
And that's when, because I had my phone in my hand with dispatch. And so that's when, of course, I'm closer to the car now, partially because he's more forward and partially because I went forward.
Okay.
And he's telling me, he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I got something for you, which is when he hit it. When I got closer, I was telling him, you need to stop. I'm telling the lady on the phone, of course I can't hear her because I have her on speaker and all this is going on around me. And that's when me and him, he swung at my hand and he grabbed me by my wrist and he pulled me in.
So at that time, still no gun out, nothing.
No.
So phone in hand.
Right. He swung it.
Hit me how he hit you. You're holding like the phone like this?
That's what it was, I had it in my right hand.
Okay.
Yeah, and he's right here.
Okay. Go ahead. I mean, don't get me, but
Right. Well, with this hand, I'm telling you, you need to stop.
Okay.
And he's just like, he went like this, and then he grabbed me, and
He grabbed which hand?
my right hand. I'm sorry, my left hand.
The phone, not the phone.
Not the phone.
Okay. I got you.
But when he did, which honestly, I don't know what hand, how he lunged it first, but when he lunged, it hit my phone. So it knocked it out of my hand, and he grabbed
Knocked
me.
it out to the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it shattered the screen.
Okay.
And then he grabbed me.
How?
He was like this.
Okay.
And that's when me and him were going back and forth.
Okay.
But it was more me in the vehicle than it was him out because he's pulling at me, he's tugging.
Okay.
So he's pulling, we're going back and forth, he's hitting, he's swinging. I'm trying to hit, but I'm also trying to pull away because the only thing that I know for protecting me and this man is what I have on me.
Mm-hmm.
Now, by this point, I'm telling him, that's what I'm telling him, I have a gun. I said, and I will shoot you. And I'm pulling. This hand was free. I'm trying to just get away to get my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't. So then, that's when he's saying, yeah, okay, I got something for you. Something about, I don't even know who the F you are, you're nobody or whatever. And that's when I pulled it out because he's leaning, saying, I got something for you. This is him, he still had my hand.
Okay.
He's saying, I got something for you.
And you're leaning back away from the car?
Yeah, I'm being pulled in, but I'm trying to pull away, and that's when I pulled it out.
Okay.
And I told him, I said, I told him, I said, you need to stop, that I had a gun and I will shoot. And he's like, yeah, okay, shoot me. And that's when he lunged. He let me go, but he lunged.
So she was alluding to the fact and being a little naive that she had a gun pointed at a person from a hit and run accident. When did it escalate to the whole aspect that now you need to have a gun pointed at the victim, the now victim? It's not even smart.
She pushes the door open. Okay. Which is when I thought he was pushing the door open. He leans forward and he's reaching again, and when he grabbed my shirt and it ripped it.
Okay.
So then when he's reaching I already had it forward, reaching and it ripped, and I'm thinking here is when I'm trying to say I'm going to get away with the door thing.
Mm-hmm.
He grabs my hand with the gun.
Okay.
We're wrestling with it inside, and that's when he's turning it, and I managed to get it back towards him, and that's when it went off.
Okay. So you pull up the gun. You're right hand or left?
I'm right, and
So you have it
sealed
on your right
on
side.
my right side.
Okay. So you pull up the gun and what happens? So he's still got a
he grabbed the door.
Okay.
So he grabbed the door.
Is he still holding you, or is he let go now?
He's still holding me in the beginning.
Okay.
In the very beginning, which is when he grabbed the door.
Okay.
He goes to push the door open, and when I got away, but he had my shirt.
Okay.
And that's when my shirt was ripped.
What kind of shirt do you have on?
It's a
like buttons or no buttons or just okay?
But it has like a hole type thing in the middle that he was able to grab onto.
Okay.
Which, I mean, it's just,
I know it's hard. Take your time if you need to.
I never thought I would.
Nobody ever does. Okay.
And, okay. So I had it in my hand at this point.
Okay. Are you pointing it yet? Or are you, where is it? Is the point pointed at him?
It's up. Like this is the window. And I pulled it out like this, trying to get him away from, trying to get off. He still has a hold of my shirt. When he pulled away from the shirt is when the door happened.
Okay.
I pushed the door with my knee, and
do you think the door opened at all?
I went forward when I pushed it, which is why
So it was open. It kind of open. Okay.
I mean, and that's where all the marks came from on my jeans with the outside of the car.
Did the photographer take pictures of you? No.
No one didn't talk to me.
Okay. We're going to need to have it take pictures.
Okay, so he was, when he still had me when I pulled it out, and I'm telling him, he's like, yeah, shoot me, I got something for you, And then I was up, I had pulled it up, and that's when he had hold of my shirt ripped, he grabbed the gun.
Okay, hold the gun, grab the gun, you were in, grab the gun.
So he's trying to turn like this.
The next big publisher is you. Thanks to Amazon KDP, anyone can publish a book online in just 3 simple steps.
And I'm trying to push up against the door. After my shirt was ripped, he went like this.
Okay.
And he was pulling at it. But my hands were just on
Okay,
the side. And yeah,
okay.
so he's pulling at it, and he's pulling at the trigger area, in the trigger.
His hand is in the trigger guard?
His hand is in the trigger guard, yeah.
Okay.
And that, I mean, the specific reason why I bought the one that I bought was because it had the double safety mechanism.
Right.
So I wasn't too worried, I guess, because I didn't have my hand all the way on that, on the back, I could tell.
Okay.
So he's pulling at it, and that's when he's going like this, and he's turning it.
Turning away from himself.
Yeah, and he's trying to, and that's when he grabs it. My fingers and his fingers were both in it, and he's trying to pull it, and that's when I'm trying to pull my hand out, but I'm not trying to leave the gun there, obviously.
Right.
So he was pulling it and turning it, and that's when I was able to kind of just like yank it back towards him, and he had it like this, and he's like, yeah, just shoot me. And that's when he lunged. He still had a hold of my hand right here.
With the gun?
Yeah, with my hand, and he lunged, and that's when.
Okay. Yeah. Now, do you think that he pulled the trigger, or do you think that you pulled the trigger?
What I told them originally was that I felt like he did. Because I did not have my finger.
So now she continuously put the blame on the victim. She's putting the blame on the victim nevertheless, because what she's saying is, she is saying, and you heard it clearly, that he kept saying, shoot me. So the investigator asked her, or the interrogator asked her, do you feel you shot him, or do you feel he shot himself? Now, it's her gun. It's Hannah Payne's gun. Why would you even pull out a gun? She turned around and said, no, I feel that he shot himself. Let's carry on.
I know about the double safety mechanism, so that's why I specifically did not have my finger on the trigger.
Okay.
Now, when I pulled it back around, after he was, tugging at me and he lunged, he still had his hand on it, and I had my hand in on it.
Okay.
But it was more so of a matter of force instead of me saying, okay, I'm going to pull the trigger. Okay.
And you're talking about the double safety, I'm not familiar with what kind of thing you're talking about.
Springfield, an SD 9mm.
Okay. Or just when you're talking about it, is that like, it's like a double trigger, it's like a trigger and then another trigger and you have to pull them both back in order to, okay.
And then also on the back of the handle, there's also like a
switch, like a safety switch.
The one you grab it, right?
yeah, it's like a, almost like a, I don't know how to, yeah, it's a button.
Of the gun is going to be.
Oh, you're not pressing that.
You don't push it with, but you don't push it.
Right.
This part, if you're not actually holding it properly, it's not going to. Which, when he first had it turned, I heard it click, like the trigger was pulled, and that's before I had it pulled down. Before I had my finger pulled down, but because I didn't have my finger on that back part, it didn't do anything.
Gotcha.
So he's pulling and he's fighting, and that's when I put my finger on the trigger, and he still had his hands on my hand, so that way both of our hands was in the, I don't know, the trigger.
The trigger guard?
Trigger, yeah,
like a little circle or thing?
inside.
Yeah, okay.
And that's, I'm pulling, and that's when it went off.
Okay. Never seen this film before.
No.
Okay. Will you write me a statement saying what you just told me?
I have 3 questions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So help me understand the more part about because it sounds like he's saying exactly 3 things at one time.
Now, the first interrogator spoke. Now they play good cop, bad cop. Now the next interrogator, it's like they weigh you down with your words. Now it's his turn because he sat back and listened to everything. Now it's his turn to interrogate you. Let's see how this goes.
The door, your shirt, and the gun. I'm not understanding how you can grab all 3 at one time. So make that more clear to me.
So the first thing that he grabbed was my hand with his right hand.
Okay, at this point there's no gun on you.
There's no.
No,
It's not out.
Right. All right.
But
First
he
thing you
grabbed-
grab is your shirt. Where at your shirt?
No, not my shirt. He grabbed my hand.
Okay, grab your wrist.
Yeah. With
All right.
his right, he grabbed my left wrist with his right hand.
Okay.
And that's when me and him were fighting, going back and forth, hitting. And that's when he's telling me, he's like, okay, well, I got something for you. He's twisted and turning, and he's leaning back. So then, after that is when I told him that I had a gun.
All right, let me go back to where the wrist is grabbing. At what point were you inside? Were your arms inside of his vehicle? Or did he have to lean out the side of the window to grab you?
He had to lean out. Because I was right at the window, so it wasn't.
Were your arms right from the window when you was talking to him?
I'm going to show you a way to potentially make money by pairing Amazon with the power of AI without.
What was your hand doing besides the cell phone? What was his hand doing?
So if this is the window and this is inside the car, I'm telling him you need to stop. Because my hand's right here and I'm on the phone with the police. Now, I wasn't.
Was he stopping at that point? The vehicle?
Yes.
So why did you say I tell him to stop if he stopped?
He wasn't in park, and he never turned off the vehicle. And it wasn't a matter of like he was, I guess, not complying, but he was just saying, and it wasn't necessarily that he was inching, but like he was just saying, no, I'm not, I got something, I don't even know who you are, who are you? And I'm telling him.
Okay.
I was no one.
So what was your response to that?
To what?
I don't know who you are.
That's what I told him. I said, I'm no one. I said, but I'm on the phone with the police.
Okay.
And they're telling you to stop.
And when you responded to that, what are you doing? Are you still moving? Are you talking with your hands? Are you still moving with your hands? Are you still holding the stop? Are you pointing? I'm trying to understand. Somebody's sitting in the truck.
Right.
You're standing outside. Right. How can their right hand reach across to grab your left? So trying to do it without you being partially inside that vehicle already.
I mean, I was close.
Okay.
I wasn't leaning forward. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't.
So you were just.
Right. And that's when he's saying, I don't know who you are. And that's when he reached forward, like he was swinging almost.
Like trying to swing and hit you? Okay.
And that's when he grabbed me. And that's what I thought he was going to do. I thought he was going to hit me. So I was just willing to just take the hit and thinking it was going to go past that. And I was still on the phone with the police. And I could see the police cars. So but instead of between when he swung with that hand.
His right hand?
I'm sorry. Yes. When he swung with his right, when I was thinking he was swinging with his right hand.
But one thing we need to think about is, why was she leaning in his car with the gun? Now, she keeps saying that the gentleman said, shoot me, but you were leaning in his car with a gun.
When he grabbed my wrist.
Okay.
But before he grabbed my wrist, there was a motion with his, I think it was his left hand. There's no way that he could have motioned to over here with his right hand. Did I see it with two different hands? No, but I'm looking at him.
What kind of motion?
Like he was like telling me like to
get away.
Basically, yeah. Like no, I'm not stopping. I'm not. He's like, no, I don't know who you are. You're not no one. You're no one.
So he's like motionless and like get away from me. Like kind of like get away. I don't know who you are.
But that's what I'm saying. I don't know if it was a get away or if it was a trying to hit the phone out of my hand. Because I'm going like this to him. I'm on the phone with them right now.
So you like explain the screen to him?
Yeah.
How you looking at him? So at that point you stick here. Is your hand more so inside the truck or is it still outside? Okay. Closer to his person.
I don't think I was in the truck too.
I got you. I think you're in the truck like this.
No,
But like, it's a lower truck. I saw the vehicle. I saw everything was parked at the end. So before how close your vehicles were, you were saying there was a little bit more distance. All right. So prior to that distance, all this is when this all happens, right? You grab your hand before pulling off, or did he grab your hand after?
He grabbed my hand before.
All right. So this is grabbing your hand before.
And now he has my hand, and we're going back and forth, and we're fighting, and whatever.
All right.
My phone had already fallen out the Jeep. Falling out my hand. And that's when he's saying, I got something for you. And that's when he went forward.
Okay, I got something for you, go forward. While still holding on to you.
Right.
All right.
Yes. And then that's when I rushed back. Because with one hand, he has me and he's had me pull, and we're going back and forth, and his hand, eventually my shirt got ripped somehow. But it wasn't when he had grabbed it, it was where he was just like hitting and we were scuffling basically, if that makes sense.
Okay, so your shirt got ripped from scuffling, not from him grabbing.
It got, you could hear like stitch pulls.
Okay, so
but at the end, what caused it to rip, actually rip like fully, was from him grabbing it and him pulling it.
Alright, from him pulling it. Alright, so let me understand. So we got the grabbing of the wrist.
Right.
Then I got something for you where the vehicle moves forward.
Right.
While I'm still holding you. Alright. Yeah, at what point does the door open?
I went with the vehicle when it was going forward.
How did the vehicle stop? Did he just stop or did you?
No, it didn't stop. He didn't stop. It went into the car.
Was he driving it forward, or did he have to, what was the damage doing when the vehicle went forward?
One hand was with me.
On your shirt or on your arm?
That was with my wrist.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
did he move, did he turn to drive the vehicle away, or did he, did his foot slip off the brake and it moved?
No, because you can hear it rest.
Yeah, right. So he's holding you with his right hand, and he moved forward. I guess it's might move driving forward.
He didn't reach forward for the
steering wheel.
No, he didn't.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, you just heard the engine rev.
Okay. Did at any point he shut off his vehicle?
No.
So the car should have still been in drive by the time police got there?
To be honest, I don't know.
Do you remember him reaching for the gear shift to park it or to do anything? Or did he have to reach in and turn his car off or something like that?
The only time that he reached was when he's saying, I got something for you, after he had let go.
Yeah, when he was he reaching the back, side, front, or was he reaching at?
I saw his arm go this way.
So it's like towards the back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Toward, almost turned diagonal.
Okay, I got you, like kind of.
It could have been to the back, it could have been behind, underneath, to the side.
I got you.
It could have been to the gear shift. With you saying it now, but he's saying, after I had said I have a gun, he said, oh, and he's saying still, I got something for you.
But why are you going to a person saying I have a gun after the 911 operator told you 4 times to go back to your vehicle? You should have been going to nobody saying you had a gun. You should have been waiting at the scene of the crime and allowed the police to pursue the gentleman, not you. Don't play vigilante.
When he reaches.
But the first time you said I got something for you, he just moved the vehicle.
No.
There was no reaching for no weapon or anything at that time, just moving up the vehicle. All right, so at this point, after he grabs your arm, I have something for you, strikes your vehicle, what happens next?
Then my wrist, I pulled my wrist away.
So you have to get away from him?
Yeah, I had already had my gun pulled out.
All right, so where did you remove your gun from?
A concealed holster.
So you have a concealed holster on your right hip? Okay.
So I pulled it out.
And when you pulled it out, what did you do with that gun?
I loaded it.
All right, so you racked the chamber?
I did, yes.
Okay.
Which is when he had my shirt.
So at this time, he's now grabbing your shirt. So you was able to get away, snatch away from him with your left wrist. And immediately, did he grab your shirt, or was there some separation at that point?
There was a minimal amount of separation. From the wrist, I had the gun out. When I pulled it away, it was a one movement. I was still within a couple inches of his, even if that, of his door. And that's when he's pushing open the door.
All right, why didn't you didn't have enough time to retreat, to run away to your vehicle?
That's what I had intention on doing after I took out my gun.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying, that's when he pulled out. That was where the lean happens, the reach, I got something for you, he's pushing open the door, and that's when I pushed up against the door. I had it in my hand, I wasn't holding it back. But I had it in my hand, and I'm at the window with my gun in my hand.
So we got to reach back. Also, open the door, which you got to lean kind of forward. But you close that. All right.
After the reach, it wasn't a matter of him just like staying over here. He was reaching, and then it was
So reaching means like he's like looking for something. Is he still over there trying to find something, or is it just like just a little reach back?
From where we were, halfway in and out, both of us, it was, I got something for you.
Okay. But does he hold that position, or is it something just very quick?
I looked up to see him like this, and when I looked back, he was moving forward.
Okay, so it was pushing his. All right, I got you. So it wasn't like a whole like push in, reach in.
Yeah, no.
I got you. All right, so then he leans back, pushes the door forward. Do you ever see what's in his hand?
I couldn't see his hand from where we were, from how I was pulled back and the angle that I'm sitting at, and I'm focusing on nothing, truthfully. So, you know what I mean? Like there was no assuming that there was, assuming that there wasn't. It was just me just trying to make sure that I was prepared for whatever.
The idea of having one stream of income just didn't sit well.
It made sense.
I got you. So at that time, he opens the door. You close the back, right?
That's when I pushed up against it with my knee.
What made you do that? Why would you open the door?
I'm yelling at him, telling him to stay in the car. I told him you need to stay in the car. The police are on their way.
Okay.
And that's when he lunges.
When you say lunges, that means he like actually trying to like reach out the window? Like at this point, he's past the barrier from inside the vehicle to outside?
Right, yeah.
Okay.
And he got on his both hands or arms?
He's just coming with his right hand.
Okay.
Because he's turned sideways, like this is the window. He's turned sideways as he has his hand up against, almost like he has his hand up against the door. That's when I pushed it, and I told him, you need to stay in the car.
Okay.
And I had it in my gun in my hand.
Are you pointing at him at this time?
I'm not pointing it at him, but I'm not pointing it.
So where are you pointing at? Where is he kind of pointing?
At rest with my hand, right here.
So your hand is actually on the car?
No, I'm just saying, like at the window.
Okay.
And I was actually further away because I had my knee on the door when I told him that.
Okay.
So I have my knee on the door, and I'm telling him, you need to stay in. I'm not reaching in, I'm not moving, I'm not touching.
Do you remember which knee that is?
Do you remember which side?
Which knee? The right, left?
The right knee.
So your right knee, so the same side as where you're holding the gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had it face this way, and I pushed the door forward.
All right, tell me how your hands are. Is she holding the gun sideways pointed? Like, how's your, where's your hand? Where's your hands?
My hands are up here.
Oh, so you got a higher rate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I had it, I pulled it out, and I had it up here.
Where's the muzzle pointing?
It's more so pointing sideways. Because I have it, so I have it in my hand like this.
Alright, so it's not pointing at him, but it's kind of like ready if he has to pull. Alright. And then you close the door back and tell him to stay in the car. At this point, he reaches out, correct? And he reaches out with his right hand. So you know there's nothing, no weapon or nothing in his right hand, correct?
Correct, well, yes.
Because you didn't see no weapon or nothing in his right hand.
I didn't see anything in it, but he didn't have anything in his hand.
Okay.
This hand is still down.
The left hand? Mm-hmm. Which was the one that he was not reaching with, right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's the one, he just reached to try to open the door.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then he grabbed your shirt.
He grabbed my shirt.
With his right hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And that's when I'm trying to just pull away from him, and it was making me nervous because of the fact that I had the gun in my hand and I just wasn't holding it like I'm ready to shoot, so I didn't have the best grip on it. So because of it, I'm pulling away from him, and he's pulling at me.
So you're using both hands now to try to push off the car, or
It's more so just my right hand because I'm trying to, do this with him.
Okay, with the left hand.
Yeah,
okay.
So I'm trying to do this, just trying to push him off of me.
Mm-hmm.
And the gun is still facing that way.
Okay.
But that's when he lifts up and he grabs it.
Lifts up.
Lifts up with this hand, his left hand.
So he lifts up with his left hand, grabs me, he lifts up with his left hand, grabs the gun.
Just as he pulls away with my shirt, like almost like he's trying to pull me closer towards him. But that's when the shirt rips all together. When that happens, when he lifts up with his right hand.
Okay.
His left hand.
Okay.
And the gun is right at his door.
Okay.
And he grabs it.
Okay. With his left hand?
With his left hand, yeah.
Okay. And at this time, is he still holding on to your shirt with the right hand, or?
No, his hand has come off of my shirt.
Alright.
So now, his hand has come off of my shirt.
So now, left hand grabbing the gun, what is his right hand doing?
Left hand was grabbing the gun. Then he immediately pulled his right hand around.
So now he got two hands on your gun?
On me, yes.
Okay. And at that point, how many hands do you have on your gun?
I pulled my hand under, and I was trying to pull my actual hand away.
Okay.
I couldn't actually grab the gun itself.
Because your right hand and his hands are all
on right. Don't have my fingers in the shirt on.
What's wrong, Socks? What's wrong with you? You stuck, are ya?
Getting stuck sucks.
Trigger. I had it resting on the side of the trigger. That's when he's turning it, like he keeps turning, and it gets to almost like where my hand is on top of it. His hands are turning it, and we're that way, and it kind of going back and forth over here, and when it was in this is when I...
At this point, is the gun more so inside of the truck or more so outside of the truck?
It's more so... We were right at the window,
right.
But when he's turning it, it's outside.
Okay, so it's more so outside of the truck. That is how you...
But why was she in the window? Why did she tell him she had a gun? All of this wouldn't help your case. You should have asked for an attorney. That's what you should have. When they read you your Miranda rights, you should have asked for an attorney because you are bearing yourself. Cops are not your friend. And they stayed on those two topics on purpose. And no, you didn't deviate, but it don't sound good.
And your hands are more out of the truck.
Because, it's like a back and forth thing. Like he's pulling, I'm pulling. But the only thing that was keeping me
from the war, you was primarily winning because of the fact that your hands was outside of the truck?
It kind of was going back and forth.
Okay.
The only reason that I was able to pull fully, I couldn't because he was stronger than I was.
Okay.
To actually pull away from him. But the truck and my knee being up against the truck was kind of helping me. Yeah. So that's when I was pulling. We're going back and forth. And the entire time, it was never more so in the car, out the car when we had the gun. It was more so like right there. And he's pulling, so my arm is now technically inside the vehicle.
Okay.
And he's pulling and pulling, and it got to where the gun was pointing didn't go off.
Because your hand wasn't on the safety.
Right.
Right.
So that's when I'm lifting up and I'm trying to pull over.
Okay.
When I'm lifting up and I'm trying to think that I can just get above him because I have air.
Yeah.
Thinking I could just get above him and it wasn't working. So then we're back here, both hands, and I'm yelling at him, telling him, I said, just let go, let go. And he's yelling, no, just shoot me. You said you're going to, just shoot me. And I'm like, just let go. That's when his hands and my fingers were
In the trigger guard.
They were at the trigger guard.
Okay.
And that's when my hand was underneath, so I'm still pulling, and he had let go with his right hand. His right hand, which is when he was reaching. And when he was reaching is when my hand went in the trigger guard, yes. And that's when he grabbed kind of like this side. It was somewhere right here.
So with his right hand, left hand still on the gun?
Left hand still on the gun, yeah.
And then he grabbed you.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
Well, he tried to grab me, but when I pulled away is when, because he's more forward now than he was before, and more turned. I mean, he's almost fully turned. By pulling. And I think that was more so just a matter of us kind of going back and forth with him like this. And he's pulling after he tried to pull the trigger. When it came back around is when I had my hand on the trigger.
So now she said he tried to pull the trigger, but all the while she's in that car with the gun. So now she said he pulled the trigger. This is the second time she has said it, or third time.
And he still was squeezing, reaching, pulling, turning.
With his left hand.
Which is when the lunge happened, like the grab. And that's when it went off.
How many shots were fired? Just one. How many did your gun hold?
It holds, back in the tent now, I want to say 15 or 16.
Was it full?
No.
Do you know how many was in there?
11 or 12. My boyfriend loaded it for me after he bought me new bullets, so
How did you get the gun?
like originally purchased it.
Yeah, was it gift?
Okay, so the e-commerce big guys offer 2-day shipping, and maybe you're a not-so-big guy offering.
Or did you go buy it? Where did you buy it from?
Gun, safes, and armory.
Okay.
Everything like it.
Yeah. Okay, how long you had that gun?
Not long enough. Maybe a couple weeks.
A couple weeks.
She only had that gun for a couple of weeks, so the gun made her feel like Superwoman. Guns put batteries in some people's bags, but she only had it for a couple of weeks. But let's carry on.
Take any training classes with the gun, or did it jump at you?
It wasn't. I didn't take any scheduled training. Professional, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I've been to the range. I grew up shooting range. I grew up around police officers, actually. So.
Why you brought up about the 911 call? Why did you stop?
Why did I stop originally?
Yeah.
Because I could.
What made you?
So now the detective has brought up the 911 call where she was asked 4 different times to go back to her vehicle. This is now we are in the meat and potatoes of the conversation. She was asked 4 different times to go back to her vehicle, but let's carry on.
Why did you change? Why did you stop?
I'm not a just, oh, it wasn't me type of person.
What you explain?
I mean, not that it has anything to do with it, but my entire life until I was 18 and my grandfather passed away, I was going to be a police officer. And I'm a people person. I like to help people. And considering the fact that I was almost involved, it threw me. So I called the police, and when I was on the phone with her, I told her, I said, I'm sure they've already called, but I'm just letting you know. She goes, well, we haven't called yet, so I thought it was weird. So that's why I pulled off, I got out, I walked over and was talking to them, and after he was getting out of his truck, the truck driver had come back, the other police officer was also there.
I want to remind you, she said she was almost involved, meaning that her car was not hit. She was defending someone else, but it was not her car.
And that's when he had come back, or he was getting out of his truck and he was stumbling and falling into traffic. Yeah.
So he had appeared inebriated?
Yes.
Have you been around drunk people before, or people using other drugs with a prescription or not?
Mm-hmm.
What did you think
I thought it was alcohol.
Okay. Did you ever smell any alcohol on him?
I never got close enough.
Even when you're at the window, like when you're having this, did you ever catch a whiff of anything, or?
I can't say that I did, can't say that I didn't.
Okay.
Was that something that you noticed?
No, nothing that I didn't know.
Did you smell anything that you noticed?
No, nothing other than the outside.
Okay, yeah, no, I was like, you know, alcohol, they're pretty smells or nothing like that.
No. But when I was standing there talking to the guy, I thought it was weird that he kept going back to his vehicle. So that's why, and he turned it on and started revving it while we were all standing in front of it.
Okay.
So that's when I had walked back across the street and I was calling my parents to tell them what happened. And I told them, let me call you right back. It's been almost 20 minutes and this guy's making me nervous.
Okay.
So I called dispatch. That was when I called the police officer. The police and the dispatch answered. And that's when I was on the phone with her when he took off.
And did the dispatcher ever tell you not to follow him?
She said, I told her, I said, I'm following him. And she said, yeah, so she said, she's like, we asked that you know.
Now the detectives hit her with a checkmate. And she said, did the dispatcher tell you not to follow him? And then she stumbled over her words a couple of times. And then she came back and said, yes, that's what she said. She said, but I told her I'm following him.
Don't put yourself at risk. And I told her, I said, I'm just trying to get a tag number so you can have it. By the time I got a tag number, we were at the end 2 Ridgeville Road, and I come around that corner. And right before he came around the corner, I came around the corner, and I got in front of him, and I stopped him.
Did you ever get the tag number?
Right when I got to the end, yeah.
Alright. So did you get the tag number before you kind of cut him off?
Yes.
What made you cut him off still after getting the tag number?
I saw the police lights, and the police lights was more so than after. Again, I've been involved in a hit and run, and if the world was perfect, I could know that was his car, that tag number would go to the right person, but it wasn't just like he was just in the accident and then he just wanted to leave. He was just in the accident and he was all over the place. And that's when that's what I told the dispatch. I said, he's all over the place. I said, there's no way. I said, please just get an officer here. I said, and then, I'll stop, but I said, he's going to hurt someone.
Right.
Which is when I got in front of him. And assuming that was going to stop him.
We're stopping at 9:34, moving ahead.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and end the video here. Clearly, she had her stance. She went off her beliefs. Her theory of going after the gentleman or the victim, was because she felt in her heart of hearts, that she needed to get his tag. But she went from getting his tag to pulling out a weapon to leaning in the vehicle. And all in all, this was just not a good case for Miss Payne, because the dispatcher told her 4 times to go back to her car. Do not chase the gentleman, let the police chase the gentleman. And she felt that it was her vigilante duty to do this. And on top of this, wouldn't you believe it wasn't even her car that was in the hit and run accident? So it's just sad on all circumstances. All circumstances is just a sad set of situations because she didn't listen to no one. And this is Antonio with Team Tiggio. Please like, comment, subscribe, as we'll be coming to you with more videos in the future. And once again, we will see you in the next video. Oh, yeah, you can subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell. Also, make sure that you can support the channel through Super Chat and Cash App. And we will post commentary of Miss Hannah Payne taking the stand. And then we're going to add information from the victim's wife as well. So this case is not over, and we will be adding more videos to the channel. So make sure you subscribe, hit the notification bell so you'll know when I add those videos. So we will see you in the next video, and thank you for everyone that looked at this video.